it took a century for black people to really see that Garvey was on the right path all along. Right. And that it's time for us to go back to that path. It's the only solution. If we're going to rise as a race, we must rise together.
Hello, my viewers and subscribers. Greetings. I hope you all are doing good. Hope you all are doing great. So your boy here come across this one, wherein this is an exclusive one with the legendary Umar and MUTABARUKA in an exclusive one. So you wanna stay tuned and don't forget, it's a Big Stone Movement TV. So feel free to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel if you're new. With that being said, let's go ahead and check what's going on in this one, my people. Let's walk.
One of the main speakers is Umar. He will be here on the 21st, and we have him online here. Blessed?
Blessed, Brother Mota.
How are you, man?
Blessed. All is well, my brother. Glad to hear your voice.
Well, I know what you say. You're going all over the place. You're from the west coast to the east, south coast of Africa here. I mean, what's happening there?
Well, Black America is under siege. As you know, we're dealing with police genocide on a level we haven't seen in probably about 60, 80 years. Yeah. And so African Americans right now are really scrambling for solutions. Many of them don't want to accept the fact that America has never really been interested in having the black man and woman in this country. Many of them have been duped by the whole Obama facade, and now many of them are beginning to wake up to the realities of what the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey taught in Pan-Africanism and, of course, repatriation.
All right, we see today the DOJ, that's what they call themselves, the Department of Justice, come down upon the Baltimore police force and say them is racist. This is the federal government now label them police in Baltimore as racist, which black people they don't see that already. And how you think that going to pan out now, given the atmosphere we are going now, how you think that going to pan out? You think say there could be a better police force in Baltimore, given that Baltimore have a very large amount of African people there?
Oh, without a doubt. Baltimore is one of the chocolate cities. We often refer to Washington, D.C. as chocolate city, but I would say Baltimore is the real chocolate city because they gentrified Washington, D.C., so you don't have as many African Americans there as you used to. But in Baltimore, we are still pretty much concentrated in that city, but it's ironic because on the one hand, as you mentioned, they've identified that the Baltimore City Police Department is racist, as are most police departments in America. Yeah. But at the same time, they did not find any of the police involved in the Freddie Gray case.
Guilty. They never find everybody get off. Everybody gets supposed to interview Umar Johnson. That's amazing, man. That is like the FBI man tell us that we shouldn't even do something terrible, but him now going to really prosecute her.
Exactly.
Hillary Clinton is like, okay, she did something wrong, but we're not going to prosecute her. She lied to the people, but she never lied to us. So, you know, that make her all right. All right. You have something to say?
Oh, yes. I was going to just add that the reason why none of these police have been found guilty of criminal negligence, going all the way back to Rodney King. I mean, we've been dealing with this for 25 years and longer with hardly any police ever being prosecuted. And that's because you cannot hold the police guilty for murder during the course of a war. So, in other words, America has declared war on black people. And so, in a war, the police are responsible for eliminating the enemy. So you cannot send a soldier to jail for carrying out their lawful responsibility, which is the elimination of African life.
All right, you have been on record saying that black people love to fall in love with politicians and almost make them almost deify them. And you was mentioned that in relationship to Obama. I don't know if you remember saying that. You remember saying that?
We drunk the Obama Kool-Aid, Baba Muta. We drunk the Obama Kool-Aid. I saw it coming. See, in America, and this is probably true globally because we see it in almost most places, black people vote for politicians, but they don't finance the politicians. So they believe that because they voted for the politician, that the politician is obligated to carry out a black agenda. But what they started to realize, if you don't finance the politician, if you don't keep them politically, financially honest, if they are being financed by white money, if Obama is being put in office by the white Democratic Party's money, no matter how many black votes he got, he's going to be loyal to the hand that paid for his success. Which means that one of the reasons that we find so much corruption and negligence of black people by black politicians is because the average black politician is put in office on white finance campaign money. Until that changes, until we start financing our own candidates, every black politician will always betray his people and always abandon the black agenda until black people wake up to the reality that voting is not as important as financing the candidate.
Yeah. You know, that is a good example again is Baltimore, where the most of the people on the top is black people. But yet still that racism has continued for years without abating. Even though you have black this, black that, black me, black whatsoever in that part of the earth. You know, it's amazing that black people is in that situation. And I tend to want to agree with you. Because it is not their money that is turning, black people money is turning these politicians. Them can't do nothing about it. Them just can't do nothing about it. So we're in a dilemma. So, all right, you will be here on the 21st. You will be here, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. And I'll probably be coming in, Baba Muta, about a day or two earlier, so I'll already be there before the 21st. But definitely, I will be there on the 21st to honor the greatest African leader of the 20th century. Mm-hmm. Probably the greatest African organizer in modern history, in His Excellency, the Provisional President of Africa, the Right Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. Very much looking forward to it. It'll be my first time in Jamaica since, I want to say, 2011.
I saw you at the university. You were at the university.
Yes.
I think Michael Barnett was the one who was responsible for that invitation.
That is
and I remember
it's been about 5 years.
I remember that we spoke at the Yoruba Center in South Carolina that time.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember.
Yes, I remember. That's when we met. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we spoke together at that function there. And
indeed. I think also one of the Jamaican hip hop artists was there, Terrence Riley, I believe.
No, man. You remember the Yoruba grounds? There was not a show, you know. It was.
Right, it was a lecture with you and I, but I think he made a special guest appearance, didn't he? I remember seeing him come through there saying a couple of words. I think.
I don't remember that. But all right. I noticed that you have been traveling a lot. I mean, you know, why? What is happening? What is happening with your travels here, you know? Because I know you was in West Africa last week, I guess.
Yes.
And you was in South Africa.
Yes.
Where are you now?
Now I'm back home, for lack of a better word. I say home.
All right.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I was born and raised. So I'm back on the home turf. But yes, we was in Senegal.
So what was happening in Senegal?
South Africa.
What was happening in Senegal?
Senegal, a lot of opportunity in Senegal for African people to come back and invest and participate. Because it is a Francophone country, colonized by the French. One of the things we find is that the Francophone countries in Africa don't get the same type of attention,
as the British
interest, as the Anglophone country. And that's something that we're going to have to change within the world of Pan-Africanism, because I spoke in Paris last year, and that was one of the themes that constantly came up during my visit, was that Pan-Africanist leadership globally tends to run to the Anglophone countries.
Because of the language. A lot of that is because of the language.
Yes.
Yeah, the language is kind of what separates us a lot of times, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
But we got to overcome it, though.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a lopsided approach.
Definitely. What was happening in South Africa? What was happening in South Africa?
Well, South Africa was hot while we were there, politically hot.
The election.
Yes, the election. And what we saw happen there was historic, because the ANC, African National Congress, the ruling party, lost some major provincial elections. They lost Johannesburg, and I believe they also lost Pretoria.
They lost
not only did they lose the biggest city, they also lost the ruling city.
Yes.
And many people are crediting the young brother who broke away from the ANC Youth League. And he started the EFF party, and many people are crediting him with the ANC's losses by wooing some of the black vote towards his party. And so now what's going on is that the leadership of the ANC has defied President Jacob Zuma, who did not want them to enter into talks with the young brother, but they have decided on their own, against the president's wishes, to sit down with the young brother and see if they can reach some sort of compromise that allows the two parties to work together or come back together, so they can try to keep black people
a kind of coalition thing.
Yeah, because the Democratic Alliance, which is the white party, they've won some of these provinces. And the Democratic Alliance, they go back to, the Union of South Africa. They are the white ones. They are the white, racist, ruling elite, but they do have a black face, just like in America. They use Obama, Democratic Alliance, they got a black guy who they are using as their puppet. And so something better happen soon, because the way it's looking is that in the next 10 years, white folks will be back in charge of South Africa politically.
Well, it's not far. It's not far at all. I don't really like hear what Winnie Mandela have to say about all of this, And I really love hear what she has to say about it, because I know she was very skeptical about the direction the ANC was going after Mandela. She was very skeptical about it. That is why she was ostracized so much. Even after Mandela, she was very ostracized. I think she's a persona non grata right now in America and Canada, if I'm not mistaken. She's not
very true.
There,
And in fact, one of the things I respect, that I have to respect about President Jacob Zuma, although I disagree with a lot of what he's done or hasn't done politically and economically, he was the first president of the three democratically elected presidents, President Mandela and President Mbeki being the previous two. He was the first one to really give Winnie Mandela the type of respect that she was entitled to as mother of the nation. President Mandela and President Mbeki really didn't give her much honor at all, but President Zuma saw to it that, she had her own living quarters, her own security, her own escort. It's not the best arrangement, but he did give her a degree
respect,
of executive recognition. So I respect him for doing that. But going back to your point about the ANC, one of the reasons that they lost, in addition to the formation of the EFF and a young charismatic brother and what he's been able to do, is, as you stated or alluded to, they've become very conservative since taking over the government. In fact, the ANC, in many respects, has almost went 360 degrees.
Yes.
In the way they approach totalitarianism, structural inequality, bias, and disproportionality.
And it started from the
South Africa don't think they're doing nothing for them. They see them as neo-colonialist puppets. Now, I wouldn't agree with that totally, but that is the sentiment in South Africa right now.
And it starts from the release of Nelson Mandela from prison. As he become the president, that is when it starts. A lot of it. I don't know if you agree with that, but that's what I am saying.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Nelson Mandela, just like Obama, pacified the revolution and the spirit to rise up of black people, both in South Africa and in America. Black people's spirit was left domiciled because of these two leaders.
Yeah. And what a lot of people don't understand is that right before the elections in '94 in South Africa, the white ruling elite had Chris Ani
assassinated, yes. Yeah.
Just before the elections, because Chris Ani did not agree with the negotiations and the way in which they were going.
Yes.
And because he was president of Nkantu Sizwe, the military wing of the ANC, he was prepared to organize his troops again and go back to fighting against the white ruling elite until they came to the table with a proposition that was more accepting and beneficial to the black masses of South Africa. And once he made that declaration, they had him murdered because they felt that they could negotiate with Mandela, but they could not negotiate with Chris Hani. And that also explains why Robert Sobukwe, while they were in prison in Robben Island, he was the only political prisoner who was separated from the others. Mandela and the others were allowed to interact with each other, but Robert Sobukwe was kept totally separate from everyone. And that was because they feared that Robert Sobukwe, if he was allowed to stay around Mandela, he would have influenced Mandela to go hardcore Pan-African nationalism versus that integrationism that the government ultimately embraced.
All right, so, Giralica, I don't know if you had already prepared what would be your topic in Jamaica at the moment, but I know I really like Giralica synopsis of what you're going to talk about. Coming here, I don't prepare that yet.
Well, we know that Garveyism is going to be the foundation of the message, but I'm going to link it to the modern day struggles. So, in other words, I want to approach it from a perspective that we are in the condition we are in globally as African people because we have abandoned the message and the philosophy of the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. And in America in particular, as you know, that ever since Mr. Garvey's deportment in 29, most of the leadership and organizations that have sprung up after Garvey have had an anti-African message. If you look at many of them, and I respect all of them for the great work that they've done, but they didn't come with an African ideology.
No.
Nearly every organization post-Garvey had come up with an Asiatic identity, an Islamic identity, a Moorish identity, a Hebrew
African-American identity.
Exactly. But they took us away from Africa for the Africans. And so it's ironic that going into 2017, we're almost 100 years to the first international convention, and it took a century for black people to really see that Garvey was on the right path all along. And that it's time for us to go back to that path. It's the only solution. If we're going to rise as a race, we must rise together everywhere in the world.
I'm going to ask you a two-edged sword question here now. Which one of these two people that run this election you think would be best able to wake up black people out of them slumber if them win the election? Which one of them you think say, if them win, black people will realize how weird a situation them find themselves in now?
I would prefer that the victor be Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump, the Democratic Party likes to manipulate black people into the illusion
that everything is okay. Yes.
Yes, whenever we get a Democratic president, because we believe that they are the party for black folks, although there's no evidence to that proof. But whenever we get or any proof to that evidence to prove that, but whenever we get a Democratic president, we stop fighting because we think they are the party of black folks. Right. So I would prefer a Republican president because Republicans are very honest about their opinion of black people. Very honest. Okay. Donald Trump is an unapologetic racist. And because of that, I think his method of communication is more conducive to waking up black people than Hillary Clinton. However, I do believe that Hillary Clinton will be the victor. And I say that because her husband was already a president. Yes. She's a Bilderberg.
And she's a money foundation. She had all the big man behind her.
She's the choice.
Yes.
And with her being a woman, Muta, here's the thing. With her being a woman, I believe that she would be more effective than even President Obama towards coming into Africa, coming into the Caribbean, coming into Central South America, coming into black countries, and seducing the president into whatever political, economic scheme the American government wants them to accept. I'm very fearful of how much worse we will be in, how much worse of a condition we will be in if Hillary Clinton is elected, because I really believe that she will be able to use her charm, her charisma, and her feminine energy to get a lot out of Caribbean presidents and African presidents.
But we see that already. We see that already over the past 8 years, well, not even 8 years, over the past 4 years, with a systematic drive to militarize African soil. You know, she as a foreign secretary was able to push American military in Africa even much more than Bush himself. You know, and she was responsible. She's responsible for the rise of ISIL in Libya and in Syria.
No, without question.
Yes.
In fact, I would argue that ISIS, the Taliban, Al-Qaeda, and half of these so-called terrorists that America is fighting are nothing more than creations of the CIA.
Oh, yeah?
They have a long history of creating terrorism to justify their invasion
of countries,
of countries so they can go in and colonize and steal the mineral resources under the disguise of making the world safe for democracy.
Okay, all right. So you will be here. I see that you will be at the University of the West Indies on the 23rd of August.
Okay, I didn't know that, but looking forward
Yes. I think, Michael Barnett can't have you in a Ocho I don't decide about Kyle Kingston at the university. Sorry, at the university in Montego Bay, sorry. It's Montego Bay. You're going to be at the university in Montego Bay.
Okay.
There is a campus of the University of the West Indies in Montego Bay, the Western Jamaica campus.
Gotcha.
So you will be there on the 23rd. The man, they plan out everything for you already. You get planned out. They plan out.
Okay.
I am
glad to hear that, Doug. Glad to hear that.
You know, Mr. Small will be here too. Professor Small will be here too.
Yes. Bobby Small.
Yes. So you're in good company. You're in good company.
Definitely. Now, you mentioned 3. Who's the third speaker, Bob Luther?
He's the head of the new Black Panther Party.
Oh, brother Nzinga.
Yes, Nzinga, yes. He's the head of the
Good brother. Yes, sir.
He will be here also. All
right.
So we're looking forward to seeing you and looking forward to listening to you. I hope that the people will be appreciative of the effort that IRFM is doing to bring a man like you here to talk to them. You know, because it's very important. It's very important that people grasp what IRFM is trying to do in relationship to bringing speakers like you here for really solidify this Marcus Garvey push. So we give thanks and just anticipating your return to Jamaica.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Baba. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you. Looking forward to getting back on the ground. It's been 5 years, a long time, a long time.
Definitely.
But I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait for the date to arrive.
Give thanks.
Give thanks. Bless and love.
So yes, guys, this one was really, really a interesting reasoning as it is. I hope you guys did learn something, and don't forget to leave an honest opinion down in the comment section. And on the don't know say it's a Big Stone Movement TV. So feel free to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel if you're new. Bless up to each and every one. Up until then, peace out. Adios.